Hey, this is Stacia, and I'm going to share a game that I played at the Parma Chess Club. This was round 2 against Wisław Zebchevsky, and I want to just delete all my analysis. What I like is you can do this on Lichess. Shout out to Lichess, I like them a lot. Everything on Lichess is completely free. Lichess stands for Libre, which means free. Like Italian or Spanish or something. I don't know. But let's get into it. So Wisław is a really awesome guy. I like him a lot. He's Polish. He doesn't speak English that well, which makes him seem like a very strong chess player for some reason. And he is a 1900. So I played e4. He went e6. I go d4, taking the center. He played d5. So this is basically French defense. I go knight d2, the Terrace variation. He goes knight e7. And that's coffee house variation. I don't know what else to call that. The main two moves are knight to f6 and c5. And so this move is not played by grandmasters. So I start to play very principally now. I want to simply get my pieces active as possible and develop as rapidly as possible. It's a little weird with the knight on d2 though. So he goes knight g6. Now I play h4. This follows my rule that if there's any minor pieces on g6, b6, b3, g3, if there's minor pieces on these squares, those pieces are subject to rook pawn pushes. So that's something to keep in mind that I learned from international master John Bartholomew. So he goes c6, which I do feel is a mistake. I'll actually give that one a question mark. Because in the French defense, you want to go c5 in one move. And you want to put your knight on c6 to attack the d4 pawn. Both those moves would do that, and then you can even play queen b6 and attack it again. And so he's not doing that, which means that it's going to be hard to fight for center control. So I was feeling really good about the position after c6, but let's not overreact. Okay, I sort of overreacted. h5. No, I think h5 is fine because I'm forcing him back in front of the bishop. And it's not so easy to play g6 now, is it? Because if I do take and he takes back, I will win that rook. And if he puts a knight there, it's still just much more weakened if that pawn gets traded off. So I just continue my development. This is how you punish someone that's not playing principled chess. You play principally. Principally? Okay, I'm not sure what I'm saying, but what I mean is you put your pieces on good squares and you develop as rapidly as possible. And then you'll get a good position. And then you do things from there. So he went knight d7. Yeah, another reason he should have played c5. Now this is blocking things too. This looks very awkward for black. I went knight to b3. I kind of did the same thing with this knight, unfortunately. But I'm correcting it now. I don't know if knight b3 is good, but I wanted to open this bishop as quickly as possible. b6, he's solving the problem with his bishop. Bishop f4. That's a nice diagonal. Okay. And now he goes bishop to b7. I go queen e2. Queen e2 is like almost like a waiting move, but not really. I'm also putting the queen across from the king. Just imagine that these pawns trade off. That's not going to be a happy day for that king. So queen e2 is unnerving. Also, I had an idea. I knew that he wanted to go c5, and I thought, if takes takes, I want to play bishop b5, and I want to make sure not to blunder anything with queen a5 check. I do have a knight here, but I had plans to move it as well. So wanted to make sure. In fact, I think I would not trade. Yeah, if your opponent is in a cramped position, then you don't want to trade pieces. So maybe I misstepped a little bit, but hey, when you have a position this good, you know, you can miss up a little bit. It's okay. So he went c5. I took bishop e5. This was my idea. The idea, I thought, is that this king is like being cuddled by his pieces. Those pieces aren't for cuddling. They're for attacking, you know. So, all right, if you want to cuddle them, I'll force them to cuddle you now with a pin. And, you know, and what do we do to a pinned piece? We attack it. So knight e5 is on the way. And this looks very awkward. So I thought this is probably the right approach to deal with c5. Let's see if it's the best move. I just want to see. Yes, it's the best move. Okay, I love to see that. I thought I was being creative. It's just the best move, though. All right, so b5, bishop b5. Oops. Sneak peek to the end, I guess. Sorry about that. But let's keep going. Take, bishop b5. Yeah, and now he breaks principles again. This time the principle is whoever is better developed with a safer king should open the position. Open the position. There's two major ways to do that. Number one is to play pawn breaks, and number two is to play pawn captures. Well, look what he's doing. He's the one that played c5, right? That's a pawn break. And then there's pawn captures, right? I'm playing the pawn capture. Then he plays a pawn capture. So the position's opening up, and I've got a queen across from this king who is being cuddled, and this piece is majorly pinned and about to be attacked. In fact, he's almost asking me to play knight e5, so being the nice person that I am, I played knight e5. Okay. And I thought here, like, what do? You have to play bishop c8. And that is exactly what he did without hesitation. Oh, I mean, I'm not sure you could pay me to play bishop c8. I'm not playing that move. Like, I would rather give up the knight. Okay, to be fair, it probably loses the queen as well. Like, if you don't do this, then what do? I'm going to play check. That's mate. Queen is going to take and then take. So, yeah, it's a tough position. I think he's forced into this. So when you follow chess principles, good things happen. So bishop c8. And now, what would you do as white? Pause your video. What do you think is the best move? Yeah, so here, I definitely thought this is the best move. And that's the move knight takes c5. That just does so many good things. It wins a pawn, attacks a pinned piece again. Like, the only downside to knight c5, which hopefully you saw, is that it allows this move knight to d5. And once the knight comes to d5, that's a discovery on our knight on c5. But it's also attacking our bishop. Okay, if we try to protect, I actually thought maybe they could take. I'm not sure about this, though. Maybe you could take the bishop, because if we just simply take back with a pawn, for example, they would take. But I guess we would take back with a queen, even there, right? It's like if here and takes. I could take with a queen still. Oh, but then maybe there's this. Maybe there's this. I was mindful of this during the game. So that might be what I saw, but I don't want that. I'll check with the engine. I bet you white's still better here. No, black's better. Dang it. Okay, I was wrong. But okay, knight d5. Knights in the center of the board are strong. I mean, there's no getting away. There's no, rationalizing that away. So I allowed black to get this very strong knight on d5. But I had an idea for this. My idea was this. Knight takes d7. It's sort of a desperado in a way because they were going to take me, right? So let's go ahead and take them. Now, if he takes the bishop, now I thought, these discoveries are looking pretty good. I calculated some stuff here, but I couldn't fully figure it out. So I just went on intuition. I was like, look, I'll find a win. Now, hopefully it's true. So if you want to pause your video and figure this out for yourself, go ahead. But otherwise, we will do it together. Okay. So I think the way we calculate and work through a position like this is we first look at the discoveries. The most logical one to start with is double check, right? Knight to f6 check. This looks quite good. On double check, the king must move. Well, there's only one square of this, so that's pretty easy. Now what we want to play is knight c6. That would win a queen, right? So that would be pretty good. However, they can take our knight, and when we take their queen, they take our queen. And I'm not sure about this. We take back, and then what? I don't know. I don't know. Our knight's kind of weird now. Vulnerable. Their king might actually be active because it's getting, like, to the end game now. I thought this might be okay. And let's see what the engine says. Yeah, it says black is -2. So, yeah, that one doesn't work. Which is what I thought. So that's good. Okay, so after takes... Oops. That's what he actually played. If they take the bishop, taking our queen, if knight f6 check here, we of course don't have to play this move right away. Okay, we can do something else first. And maybe what we do, let's see. I did think about this during the game. I also thought about this move. What I like about this is that it stops this knight takes g2 check move, but it also attacks the rook. So the rook's attacked. I think the downside here is that they can actually attack our bishop. I mean, this is getting like really complicated here. We could also play rook d1. I'm getting very confused, which I did during the game as well. This is too much stuff to calculate, right? Like, I don't think I can figure this position out. And there's more. There's more. So, that being said, I started to think that maybe knight f6 wasn't best. The other reason I don't like knight f6 is just, in general, if he takes and I go knight f6, I just think that after this move, my knight is attacked. And I think that's kind of difficult to deal with. I didn't really want that. So I started looking at other moves. And I'll tell you what I thought during the game. I'm not sure if it's right, but I thought if he takes here, maybe we play queen d2. This is very sneaky, I thought, because they can't take back with the queen because we would take. And if they take with a bishop, well, we at least have queen takes f4. I'd probably take first, then play queen takes f4. Actually, that works really well. With the queen here, if they do take, we take, and then we play checkmate. We win a queen with checkmate, so that's good. I guess they have this move, but I thought we play king f1, attack that knight. So good luck, right? Like that knight's actually trapped now. So, okay. Let's see what the engine says about this position. I mean, I feel like I could analyze that position for like an hour. Like a full hour, I could just analyze that position. So I'm just going to stop myself now. Yeah, it says that knight takes c5 is absolutely correct. And that after knight d5, white is winning. And there's a bunch of winning moves. One move is knight c takes d7. That's the top move. Okay, so I figured that out. This is also a good move, winning. And bishop takes is also a good move. All those captures are good. What about, okay, what about here? Where's the double check I wanted? I wanted this. Here. And now it gives knight b6 check is the best move. Wow, it is? Knight b6 check. I looked at that. But I kind of thought this rook was irrelevant. I guess it's not. It's material after all. Computers are materialistic. It also likes knight c5 check a lot. And it also likes queen d2. Yay, queen d2. Okay, so that's what I wanted to see, because if I, this is how you find good moves in chess. You look at the obvious moves, you roll them out for reasons, and that leads you to better moves. Because as you roll them out, you're understanding the position more and more. So queen d2 is one of those moves, where I was like, oh, these discoveries aren't so great. Like, what do I do? But queen d2, and I'm lined up with everything, and I'm attacking the knight. So after queen d2, the engine gives knight takes g2, king f1. Wow, this is what I thought. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm pretty happy. I feel like I'm getting better at chess if I can find stuff like that during a rapid game. All right, so after bishop b4, this is what he actually did in the game. He didn't play knight takes bishop because he probably realized that's not a good idea. So he checked, and I didn't play c3. c3 is probably okay, but I thought if I play c3, he might do this. Okay, and I didn't calculate this very much, but I just knew that if I just take, that's a fork. And like, why should I allow him any counterplay at all? Right? Like, why should I? So I decided that I didn't want to play c3. So I removed my bishop from danger. Bishop d2. This is still +5 for white. So he takes. I take with check. I thought that was the best move, because if we take with a knight, I feel like there's more options for him there. You could just move the king or do a lot of different things. Maybe not too many. Probably just move the king. But on this one, it's like, it's check. He has to do something. Oh yeah, and I saw an idea here. He can't play f6 to kick my knight out. This was a concern, but I saw that after f6, he undefends his pawn. I could take that. And if he takes me, I could take him. And if he takes that, I had something. What do I have? Good question. But that happens later. All right, so after takes and king f8, I mean, we're up material because he couldn't take back. So castle long and castle strong. That's what Michael Jolson says. So now I'm fully coordinated, and his king's on f8. Like, he takes, thank you for helping me develop my, or double my rooks. And after f6, I do get to take here now. Now with the rook here, it's even worse. I definitely can take the knight. So he takes, I take. So that's just a trade then, except I have a much better position at the end. And then he goes rook b8 to save his rook, and I play queen c4. Now I thought queen c4, I was trying to find the best move here. I had a lot of time still. I thought queen c4 was good, because if queen c4, I was trying to checkmate him. What was my idea? I think maybe I was going to take this pawn and play check. And he can't go here because there's a bishop there. And he can't really move his king at all because there's discoveries. So yeah, I thought this was pretty good. So I went queen c4. Engine says the best move by far is queen takes e4. That makes a lot of sense, actually. It's a free pawn. If they go here, threatening checkmate, we don't have to blunder checkmate. Yeah, computer says go bishop b3 and you're plus 96. Okay, that's a lot of material. I've never won 96 points of material before. But that's the price of a king that is vulnerable. So, rook b8, queen c4. He threatened, it's not mate, actually. I could escape. But why allow that? And I played queen c3. Now, it looks weird, but in this position, we're up so much material. I mean, I felt like a queen trade is a very bad idea for him. Not only is it bad, but, like, I'm threatened to just double rooks and just come in. And if he goes here, I could check and... Oh, he can't even go there. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is just overwhelming. And it is. So after queen c4, here. I'll just show you how it ends now because this is not so interesting. Oh, I can't show how it ends. I forgot. Yeah, I got this position though. With the queens off, I'm just up tons of material, and I went on to win the game fairly easily. I did get a checkmate. So I hope that you enjoy this analysis. I still feel like I have questions. You know, in some of these critical positions, there's a lot going on. It's hard to say. Like, actually, yeah, it was one of these positions. But there's more even. So the story of the game, though, is that my opponent, even though he's 1900, I feel like he just doesn't play principal chess at all. So if I play principal moves, I just get a very good position. Like, look what he did here. Like, this whole plan in the opening is just wrong. That's one thing. And I punish it with h4, and Stockfish is the one that suggested that move. But I play it gladly. Yeah, and this is the next mistake. Not taking the center immediately. Yeah, and now opening the position, you know, doing a pawn break when your king's in the center and can't move and things can barely move, that's a bad idea. And it only got worse after this move, d takes e4. So I feel like my opponent just needs to, you know, think about chess principles some more, especially opening principles. I mean, he knows to develop his pieces and castle. He knows this, but he never castles against me. It's like very rare. So like, you've got to do better in terms of fighting for the center and getting your pieces out. I mean, I'm telling somebody that's been playing way longer than me this advice, but that's what I would tell him if I was his teacher. Since I am a chess teacher, I can't help but take that tone. I mean, he could teach me a lot too, I guarantee it, but not in the opening. I think his opening is very suspicious, and I've been punishing it worse and worse every time. And this game is definitely proof of that. So, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back with more chess. Okay, bye.